we are online. So hi everybody, nice to see you again at the WAPI webinars. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that together with us is Owen Burrows from UK. As always, my name is Alexander Fridman. I'm CEO and founder of company WAPI. WAPI, the company that helps you to fulfill your orders all over the Europe. And also WAPI has created a community for you, for sellers, to get more knowledge, more experience, more information, how to grow your sales. And here at the webinars, we invite special guests every Thursday to get some more information and very, very important topics and bring it to you. And today I'm very glad that with us is Owen Burrows. Owen is seller. This webinar is about practice, about the real case, not about theory of books and all this teachers who never did the job. This one is especially from the factory, from the warehouse, from the inside of Amazon salad business. And I'm very glad to have this webinar today. And I'm sure that you will hear wonderful, wonderful content. Hi, Owen.
Hi, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. We're busy. These very strange times, been very busy. Thankfully, very busy moving forward. If you'd like me to kick off, just give a bit of an outline of my journey. From
first of all, present a little bit yourself and tell us how did you get to this point? How did you come to the e-commerce? Why you're doing it? What happened before that you are at this point now?
Okay, well, I'm 55 now. Basically, in my life, I was with college. I got into sales and I was into selling, and I started my own initial business probably at 16, and then another small business later on. I've always sort of started my own little things going forward, but my real big business I started initially was back in 1990. I started an advertising and publishing business, very much business to business, sales face to face, telesales. That was my forte. I built the business up over 20 years and exited it in a couple of times. I exited finally in 2010. I then went into a bit of consulting and doing a bit of work in and around. Without saying the money that I did get a nice payout from my exit, but a lot of that went in a new investment with a new business in 2008. But unfortunately, the crash really taught me a lesson. And it took away a lot of that juice that I got from the initial sellout. But it was a big lesson I learned. Moving forward, I've then had a number of jobs that have taken me into different places of the world. A final one before coming back to UK was I spent 2 years in China. And it was from China when I returned back from there that I got, somebody spoke about Amazon and online sales. And I've been doing, obviously I've utilized Facebook and AdWords and that sort of a thing. But when I came back, I was looking for something to do. And that's what then got me into this online space. We sold a house, we realized some equity, but we were going to flip houses, flip retail. But I was intrigued by this what my colleague was doing in China.
You sold the house? You sold everything?
No. I sold the house in order to, when I came back, we needed to do something to make money. I couldn't. Okay. So what we looked at doing was flipping houses. You know, we had some houses, so we were going to do that. And so we had a house, we bought a house to renovate. At the same time, I was looking at this Amazon thing, and I was looking at my friend in China, and he got involved with it with a credit card, 50 grand credit card.
Okay.
And then 6 months later, he's turning over stupid money. And how much are you turning over? Selling relatively in items I hadn't thought about. So it really intrigued me. So we looked at it, and my first thing, I went out, I opened an account. I thought, I need to learn this. I've got to see what it's about. I went to the Walmart, I think you'll call them over there. It's like went round there. I picked off some mugs. I'll never forget my first product were mugs. They were
what was it? The first product still?
A mug, like this.
Ah, okay.
But it was a Star Wars mug.
Okay, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and it actually lit up. But it was on sale. You know, there was on a sale. I broke a number of rules doing this, but at the time I didn't realise that, and nothing came of it. But what it did, I got it, I listed it, I sent them in, they sold, and they sold for good. Well, I thought, well, that works. So then we looked into it a bit more seriously.
So what was your starting budget at that time?
Okay, when we looked at it seriously,
before the Star Wars mugs, what was the starting budget?
I had nothing, no starting budget. It was just a curiosity. I just had enough to open up the account. I did have money,
okay,
but it wasn't sort of looking to invest in that. I mean, one thing you've got to take from this is that what I did learn is that you do need money eventually. But when we looked into the Christmas market side of things, the seasonal things, and we picked on a product, we looked at what was in there, we thought we can do better than that. But only by buying through retail and small, and doing it through merchant initially. And then we built that up for the first Christmas. We did do quite a lot of stuff and sent it in for FBA. And we did send some over to America, but it was only small. We weren't talking hundreds of units, but it worked. We saw it was a good idea. It was a good line. So then we looked at it was Easter. So we looked at an Easter line, and we did the same again, and that went quite well. So we thought, well, this works. But going back, when we went into it seriously, we're talking about investment. We looked at £15,000. I thought we'll put 15. Well, we need that to get a decent amount of stock, make up a website, and don't forget, I'm coming into this, yes, for Amazon, but my mind is that, well, look, I need to see what not on the high street is like. I need to see what my online website can produce. So I made an e-commerce website. I then went into other platforms like eBay, and we listed on eBay. And I had about 4 or 5 different channels that we put the products on, but it all just went into Amazon. Amazon just sold it. And I didn't have to spend anything on that. The website, I had to get someone in India to do my AdWords and the campaign there. That was money. eBay, a little bit of Facebook advertising, money, all on top to bring the traffic. Yeah. With Amazon, I didn't spend anything. I just put the products up there. No pay-per-click, a little bit of a launch, maybe a little bit of pay, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. Yeah. But it worked. And what I saw was that even though Amazon was the more expensive of all the channels, it had the customers. It had the audience.
You had some sort of unique product, or it was just...
It wasn't a unique product. It was a product that was out there, but we made it better. We looked at reviews. We looked at what people were doing. And we just thought, well, how can we add to this to make it better? And the overriding rule to anybody who's getting involved in Amazon or an online business is that you've got to have a good product. It's simple. You've got to have a good product, and you've got to have good customer service. Okay. What I've learned is that if somebody comes back and they've got a problem with it, send them a new one, give them the money back and send them a new one. Don't worry about what it costs. it's what you've got to try and do is stop that bad review, stop that bad experience. And when I used to not do that, I used to, well, I'll give them the money back and they should be happy. Yeah. Or if they've perhaps something missing, I'll give them a discount. And I was wrong in them early days. I was wrong. That was the wrong thing to do. If someone's got a faulty goods or they haven't got it or whatever, give them the money back. Ask them what they want or give them a discount on the next purchase. And then they're saying their experience then from being negative goes to positive. Something I learned very early in my career was, and this is a very difficult phrase, particularly if you're not English, but it's called cognitive dissonance. And when somebody has a bad experience, you have to turn that experience into a good one. So you have to turn the cognitive dissonance around. And that's it, whether it's someone has a bad meal in a restaurant, you give them a free meal, you say, come back next time, we'll give you a free drink. And they're going to walk out, well, it was a bad meal, but they've cost us nothing. And we've now got something to go back with. Let's go and try them again.
So in result, your life hack is if something goes bad, you give the money back and you send the new product?
Go over the top. If somebody's got a negative experience, it's arrived damaged. It's not been what they thought. 9 out of 10 people are genuine when they've had a bad experience with your product. You're always going to get the one idiot that just does it for the sake of it. But you can, fine. But what will come back is that you'll get it back in spades. You'll get it back in spades on a number of levels. You may not get the bad review that they may have put up for you. They may come back and use you again. They may even put up a positive review because of what's happened. So that that is a big lesson because what I've learned being new, and I've only been online since 2016 and 4 years at this game. Yeah. I would never been bothered about reviews because these reviews are huge. It's not just getting them and building them, it's getting the right ones. And when you do get them, they are gold dust. But it's no good. You're not going to get good reviews if you've got a crap product. Yeah. If your product's no good, then it won't work out. So we started with £15,000. That's what we got in, and we made money. We doubled that up, more or less, because it was Christmas and it went well. We got good margin. Okay.
You started only 4 years ago, but you have already a huge experience, and that's why our today topic is becoming an Amazon 7-figure seller: the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
You have already started to share with us the life hacks, so I think it's the right time to go through the material that you have prepared for us.
Okay. In terms of the good, it takes me into where we are now. We're on the same sort of conversation, which is what I found out to be the good was Amazon, because it gave me not just the audience without me having to go and spend lots of money driving traffic. It gave me easy access to a global audience. So as we then progressed to another niche and a more annual niche in a product base, that we then did the same again. We put it out there, we made it better, we saw that it worked. Then we decided we were going to really invest into that. But and we developed our market within the UK, and we had a little bit in the US. Okay, so the good thing about, I would never have been able to sell in the US. I would never have been able to sell in Europe if it wasn't for Amazon and the pan-European and the marketplaces that they have, that I can just set up through my computer and work all through my computer in terms of doing the marketing and the selling side of that. That's what's good, because I don't think, as for a small business or for small entrepreneurs or for people setting out that want to do their own business, There isn't another channel in my mind that gives you the freedom and the ability to actually get your products to market and to the customer. Okay. And that's what is the good side of what Amazon provides. But what you need to do that is obviously a good product, and you need money behind your product to move forward.
What you would suggest, what is the amount of the money that the people have to have now to start?
I think you can start with 15 to 20,000 pounds, but you've got to have a plan to be able to, because the reason I say that is because you've got to make sure that the product you move into and the market you move into is a market that can be developed, can grow, and that you can get a return in. So the first rule of thumb in that respect is what I call I have a couple of rules of three. So this rule of three is what I call a third, and a third. Okay. Have you heard of this?
No.
So if you're going onto Amazon with your product,
yeah,
what you need to consider is that you need a third of your income is going to be your product costs. Okay. A third of that is going to go to Amazon.
Okay.
And a third of it is going to come to you.
Yeah.
And out of that third that comes to you, you've got to pay your overheads and get your profit. Okay. So that's when you've got to think about the numbers side. The other, when you then got,
where is the logistics?
That's in your product costs.
Okay.
This is being very simple. In logistics, you go with 3 again. You go with 10. In logistics, you've got a third of your money in the factory, a third of your money on the water, and a third of your money in the warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the logistics side of that. Yeah, so that's got to be thought about as well. But in terms of actually sit down when you're doing your product, and on the good side is again, you need to know your numbers. I am lucky that I'm in business with my wife and my partner. My wife is a business manager. She's run a school, and she loves spreadsheets. She likes numbers. I can leave the account and the numbers to Kim, my wife.
Now I understand why you're so happy with this business.
I have to deal with Amazon.
Okay.
I have to deal with seller support. I have to deal with all the bullshit that goes through there. However, you must know your numbers. You've got to know your numbers, and that's where the third comes in. And you're going to be looking at, having your profit. But when you're looking at a product, the costs, what Amazon are getting, what that leaves for you, and that what comes back to you. Have you got enough for your overhead? Have you got enough for your wages? Are you going to have profit at the end of that? Okay. So we deal it on a minute basis where every product, we have every cost listed, right down to the production cost, to the logistics, to the postage, to everything. Everything's got to be in there. Otherwise, you're not getting a true reflection of what you're selling and what's coming back to you. So other things on the good side is that, as I've mentioned, in terms of Amazon gives you that access, and it helps you, gives you that marketplace access, whether you're based in the UK, the US, or in Europe. You can access all these markets. You've just then got to ensure that you've got a product and the costs work out for you to ship them where you need to be shipped to. But the Pan EU, the FBA, it really helps. We did Christmas merch when we did merchant. It was I was running to the post office with bags and bags of products to the post office because everyone was ordering from me. I don't want to do that. Well, we get them all boxed up and ship them off to Amazon. Don't worry about that. So that's where it's good, because to give you that ability to scale, and people, again, I'll go on to the gurus shortly when talking about scaling, but in terms of business, that's what Amazon gives you, and I think they've got the audience. and it's far outweighs what you can do on a website. However, what COVID has taught us as a business, as big as we've got now, and we're not big, you know, we just hit 7 figures just, and we're fine. And it's a different business to what it was when we started. But we are very reliant on Amazon. And when Amazon said, right, you can only send in essential equipment. Hang on a minute, we're not essential. Where's our business? Our business was stopped. Absolutely. I don't really have a website. I have merchant. I can put everything up as merchant, that's fine. But what it did show is that we need to develop our own website and our own traffic to that, which is a journey we're now starting now to do. But I think that will only ever get to between 20 and 30% of my business. The majority of it is going to be through Amazon for the foreseeable future on that.
And you will also need an alternative way of logistics.
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
The logistics has been, because of 1st of January, Brexit is a UK seller, not a problem. I've always shipped out to the US, that's not a problem, but now I've got an added cost and burden to ship into a warehouse in Europe. So yeah, it's a different logistics that's got to be looked at moving forward. I think the other good thing to say, and to finish on the good, is that there's a lot of free help out there. There's a lot of free help. People that Gate webinars like yourselves. You know, I utilize Jungle Scout and the jungle sticks and the whole journey. They put it from beginning to end. They helped me with putting my contracts together to deal with the factories in China. If you're prepared to put the time in and have a look, it's free and it's all there to do and learn. And that's what you've got to do, learn before you dive in and start spending money. And in my beginning, I had Jungle Scout, and then as we got...
So how did they help you?
The information that they had, the free information that they were able to give me in terms of understanding about sourcing product from China. I've lived in China, I know the Chinese, I know how to deal with them, but I didn't know about dealing with factories. I didn't know about putting a contract together with them, about the payment terms, the shipping, inspections, all that sort of thing, because that's where you've got to move, whether it's China, India, whatever. You've got to get into them spaces. Yeah. And that's where Jungle Scout helped me in them initial days, because the jungle sticks thing, they do it like Helium 10 have done recently with they go from sourcing the product right through to finding a product, sourcing it in China, getting it made, putting it onto the market and selling it. And they do it every step of the way for you. And you can watch these videos for free. An idea is that you obviously pick up their software. Now, Jungle Scout was great, but in the late years, what I've done, I have now progressed to Helium 10. And that is really, you know, it really works well. It really helps. It's got a lot of tools. It helps me every day in terms of moving forward with the business. So that is the good, you know, in terms of what's out there. Let's get into the bad.
Okay.
All right. So in terms of the bad, the first thing I wrote down was reseller support.
Seller support?
Yeah, at the beginning, seller support, I used to hear people moaning about seller support. And I used to think, seller support's great. They help me problems. I have a problem, I go to seller support, let's sort it out. I think in the beginning, you only have small problems. And they're great with small problems. But when you get bigger problems, you get what I call the support roundabout. And it's this roundabout you jump on and you can't get off it, because you go round and you get the same answer and they pass you to somebody else and they give you this, and it's one thing at a time. Any takeaway for the back is seller support can only deal with one thing at a time, not multiple things. Be very simple, be very clear, be very concise, and you will get forward. And the other thing I put there is that it's very it's a complicated business working with Amazon. You cannot underestimate how complicated working with the back end and doing all that side of it is. And that's where the learning comes in, and the groups come in. Yeah. That is, you've got to learn all that. And to me, that's a bad side. I'm too old to be learning stuff. So,
but you're doing it great.
But I've had to. Yeah, I've got to make money. If you want to stop losing money. That's the main thing. It helps you stop. You've got to, seller support helps you stop. You've got to be able to navigate your way around the back end to stop you losing money. And at the end of the day, you are in Amazon's, like I said, you're in Amazon's playground. You've got to work to their rules, whether you like them or not. When it comes to contacting your customers, when it comes to inserts, when it comes to, if you get a suspension because you've done something outside terms of service, then fool you. They've got a set of rules. Yeah. Abide by them. It's a big marketplace. They've got a big, they own the playground. And unless you want to go out the playground, you've got to abide by their rules. Some of them are onerous. You don't have your own customers. You can't create your own thing, but there are other ways of doing that. So that's really only the sort of bad thing that I can think. It's you need to learn as much as you can, and then if you can move stuff to VAs, virtual assistants in small areas, then yes. But in terms of the other sort of bad, when I come on to the ugly, I've got some. I can probably put the one in for the new ones now. Yeah, let's move on to the ugly. Yeah?
Let's move on to the ugly.
Right, the ugly. Gurus. There's so many of them out there. Now it's like, particularly I've seen in the last 18 months, 2 years.
Okay.
They're all out there wanting your money. They want your money. As an Amazon seller and a new Amazon seller, they're really after your money. You've got to be really careful.
You mean those professional teachers all over the internet?
Yeah. The Amazon will, 10,000, turn all 1,000 into 1 million, all that sort of stuff. But also the cute ones, the groups. There's some groups out there that are after your money, and they bring you in. They want to give you a little bit of free advice, and then they want to sting you with, well, it's going to cost you this much for a course. You don't need courses. Go to Jungle Scout, go to Helium 10. You don't have to buy the software, but you get free access to their courses that take you right through the whole process. They've got great, I have no affiliation with these, either Jungle Scout or Helium 10, by the way. This is just coming from my own experience. And they've got great groups there that you can ask questions on. And, join the Facebook groups to ask you questions, but also look at the Facebook groups and work out the type of people that are on there by the sort of questions and answers that are coming back. If you're an entrepreneur, you are savvy, but we can all fall victim to a scam, which, however old you are or however experienced you are. And the only way to prevent that is by getting knowledge, speaking with people. But if they're not if they're looking for you after your money, again, agents that want to come along and do your pay-per-click when you're not maybe big enough to actually afford an agency, unless you're even if you're turning over £1 million, you still may not be we're probably not big enough to afford.
You don't suggest so that starters will use agencies at the beginning?
No, you're not big enough. Where's your money coming from to use an agency?
Okay.
You can learn. That's where you've got to.
Idea that if I go from the start with the agency, they will teach me. It will be a shortcut to be faster in growing.
It's a shortcut to your wallet.
Okay. But not to the sales, yeah?
No, because you've got to learn yourself. If there's parts of this business you have to learn yourself before you move into the experts and like I said, going back again, there's plenty of free information out there to help you, and there may be software there that can help you do the groundwork, that can help you do the data trawling.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a launch. Again, I just go to the big players that are offering you the free information, because they know when you get big enough to afford their monthly cost, you will get it and you will buy it, as I have. When I started out, I could not afford the Jungle Scout rate to begin with, but I did eventually jump on that because I got all that free help from them. I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to move, and they're good, and that's the difference between, for me, these players and people are out there who are on the fringes looking to do that. So the gurus are the ugly. You've got to watch them. Taxes, you've got to pay your taxes. If you're paying taxes, apart from the VAT, you've got to pay VAT. We all know we've got to pay VAT on sales. It should be a goal to pay tax. Because if you can pay company tax, you're making a profit, you're doing something right. Yeah? Okay. So don't look at paying tax as this big bad thing. I don't want to have to pay tax. I don't want to pay tax. I shouldn't have. Yeah, we all should have to pay tax. Tax is something we have to pay. If we can get our business into a position to pay tax, you're doing okay. And just make sure you've got a good accountant to manage it, so you don't pay too much tax.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of, you'll understand this in terms of logistics. Mm-hmm. One of my things I've fallen foul with and has cost me has been customs when I've been exporting to the US. My first export was going right back to the Christmas stuff. I sent nearly a dozen boxes of my product via air freight, which wasn't cheap, and I sent them at the beginning of October. My first venture into doing something big in America. Okay. Not really that big, but it was to me at the time. Yeah. And we sent them air freight, or was it? Yeah, we sent them air freight, and it was at the beginning of October, just before October. Yeah, just at the end of September, October. Get them landing, get them in, boom, sell them right through the Q4. Got to America, nothing.
Something went wrong.
Nothing. What's going on? Oh, there's a hold up. Where's I didn't get any information. It is so hard. They actually came and left customs. I still don't know why to this day. Don't know why. It took me. It was almost December when I got them out and into. Then they got into Amazon, and we were very lucky that we sold through. And it wasn't a massive one, but that taught me a lesson that you can't just go to a shipper and believe them and send it off. They're not bothered if you've got the right product. It'll be due because I didn't label something, or there was something there that I hadn't done correctly. After then, I found that I need toxicology. Depending upon you, make sure you go to your local Department of International Trade people or your local chambers. Find out what documents, what testing documents you need. Right. Get things tested. That's the other one. Right. That's the other. It's if you don't get stuff tested,
you have to be sure that at first there will be possibility to clear the customs. You have to have contact with the customs broker who will import the goods, and you have to, before you send the goods, you have to tell about these goods. Show the photos, show the packaging, all the photos, the documents, what you have for this, where it was produced, what documents you have from the manufacturing. Yeah. And also you have to check with the Chamber of Trade what certification you need for these products to trade at the market. You have to check all of this, and only then you have to send the goods.
Yeah. No. You're in logistics. I'm and many other sellers aren't, and we don't know, we don't have, you ring up a shipper. I've got some very good shippers now that take care of that for me. But the testing is again, going back, Christmas product again, it was plastic. It was a plate, melamine. Chinese factory said, is it tested? Is it okay? The Chinese tell, yes, yeah, we have test certificate, no problem. Great. I'll have 5,000. Ship them over. Okay, ship them over. My shipper then rings me, says, have you got your test certificates? Yeah, I ring the Chinese factory. Yeah, we have test certificates. They send me the test certificates for another product. They said, you said you had test certificate. Yeah, we have test certificate. This is me. No, I didn't have one for my product. So it was held in customs until I had to it was a nightmare. It was so ugly, and I'm like, again, because I believe them, hey, we have test certificate. Yes. No, you've got to get your own. Don't believe the Chinese. They say yes a lot when they really don't know. They have 3 answers, Chinese. They have yes, they have don't know, and they have no.
That's all.
Yeah, 3. But the thing is, they have 2, yes and don't know.
They never say no.
They never say no. When they don't know, they say yes. That's China. So the other ugly bits.
So something to take away from this story is that you have to be very careful with the goods that you order, and you must be sure that you will have possibility to trade these goods at the market where you bring it.
You got to get past customer.
If we're talking about Europe, you can always contact WAPI, and we will help you to find out and find the answers for all these questions.
Yeah, and when it's okay. Depending upon what testing you need, look at the markets you're selling in, because we have to get 2 tests done on our product, one for the EU and one for the US, because it's different jurisdiction. Sometimes, well, as I understand, the US can fall foul. It's got EN, and a lot of the time, even though the EU testing is better than the US, the US want their test certificate for whatever it is. So that's what you've got to look at. But the other takeaway as well is, if you're dealing with, you've got to get everything inspected. You've got to have an inspection of your goods. It's worth it. Or don't cheapskate and think, I don't really, they've showed it me, I can see it. This happened in the Ukraine, and I had got a hold of, don't say there were picture frames from the Ukraine, okay? And there's no inspection company that covers the Ukraine. The inspection companies, there aren't any there. So the guys that were doing it with me in the Ukraine, don't worry, we will check. We need to check the size. You need to check the goods, the quality. We'll check everything. Don't worry. It's got to be good. Okay. I got 2 pallets delivered. I had, again, you'll know this, but from the Ukraine, it's very difficult to get stuff from the Ukraine to the UK. We had to actually truck it in, and we trucked them in. I got them prepped by a facility, prepped them before. In fact, I got they prepped them for me. That's another story, because that went awry. But we got them into Amazon. I got 1 pallet to Amazon and 1 to me. And we started selling them. They were going okay. And then we started getting the negative reviews. And it was because because we sold them at a particular size, as a standard size for picture frame, 6x4, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
They were 6x3.5. Don't worry, we check everything. No, they don't. You're a professional inspection firm. If you can't do that.
So you're ordering something like SGS to check every.
I use a company called V Trust.
V Trust.
V Trust, very good, very professional.
All over the world.
All through the world, yeah. I've always used them. The $268 for anything up to a 20-foot container. If it's a 40-foot container, then it'll be 2 man days. and it's double that, but it's worth it all day. One of my very first inspections I got done, they found a fault and the factory had to replace everything. They had to redo everything. If I didn't have the inspection done, that had been delivered with a fault. It was only a slight fault, but it was a fault. And I wouldn't have been able to really sell them. So it's important. That's the takeaway.
I remember how I was unloading in Riga the containers of my client, and there was just sand inside.
Sand?
Yeah, it was just sand in bags.
Yeah. I mean, them stories are few and far between, but it happens. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there. Get yourself, when you get a good factory, stick to factories. Don't leave a factory because of price. The cheapest price is not always the best price. Mm-hmm. And we've found that. Get a good factory, you know, negotiate, but also, again, it's another rule of three. Whatever you're doing in your business, and this is probably my takeaways, but one of my takeaways is 3. If you're going to get a quote for security, 3 quotes. If you're going to looking for a product, 3 quotes. If you're looking to buy something, 3, and choose one of the best. Don't, somebody comes in and wants to sell you something and they say, here you are, we can do it. And they're great, they're convenient, and it's there. Go on site, go on the internet and find out. Get another 3 quotes, because you'll find usually you just it's called what we call benchmarking. You benchmark, so you know that the deal you're getting is a good deal. Might not be the cheapest, but it's a good deal. Yeah, that's the rule of 3 there. So
yeah, it is always very important to do so, because you never know what you will hear from the second and third company. Sometimes you hear something absolutely new and different, and you're like, wow, I didn't know it works like this. They didn't told me. So when you go further to this three new companies, to ask them to make inquiries, you can hear something game changer for you.
Yeah, because particularly when you work with, it's all about margin. Okay, well, I was telling to you before about the third. That third, that is for you. You've really got to work on the margins and your overheads and your logistics. So everything, you've got to go back and you've got to try and chip away at that margin. Maybe on a little bit, but it adds up. It adds up. It really does. And again, that's just a business. I think an ugly one for the probably more experienced Amazon sellers that are there is what I'm just coming across at the moment is a number of suppressions that are happening on listings for listing violations in terms of phrases that are being used. And you need to just be careful of the terms of service. And one of the phrases I can reveal that we fell foul of was new. Now, we use like a term for not a new product or it's new, but a new person or a new something that we were terming in our title and in our listing that was new. We used it because it was a new something. It wasn't to do with the product, but you're not allowed to list that condition, that word. And the algorithm saw the word new, suppressed the listing. It happened to 4 of my best-selling products. Boom, listed, suppressed for a week before I could get to the bottom of what the problem was. And it was something as simple as that. I've got through that. I now have another one, which is a infringement copyright.
So your listing was blocked. Your account was not blocked.
Not the account, just the listing. It's called, they suppressed it. It's called
How long did it take you? How long did it take you to find out what happened?
A week.
Okay.
Not to find out, to find out, work it out, put a plan of action to them, change it, and for it to sort of then get back up again. And it was very frustrating. I have another one at the moment with one product, and I'm suspicious, and I've been working on this now for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. In fact, we're going to have to write the product off but I need to find out the problem. I need to sort the problem out. And this is what is, I think may have happened. It's a copyright infringement on one of my pictures. All the my pictures are my creation. I've either made the photographs myself. I've bought something online. I bought them from a commercial photographer online, so like Getty Images. Might be one of them, a Getty image that I've paid for. I've created infographics with them. I've created them. Yeah, we have. So there's no copyright infringement. There isn't on any of my pictures. I know that because I put them all together. But Amazon have come and they've suppressed it and said it's a copyright infringement. And I can't get through. I've gone through seller support, brand services. I've now just, because I've been putting out feelers to find out how to fix this. And I've just been, and I'm going to work it, but I've come across a new one, which is apparently called account health support. So if you go into your, you've got your account health, okay. But apparently there's a link that you can go to, that gives you a link to an account health support and copyright infringements, and that
is Amazon service, or it is
it's an Amazon service. I believe, yeah, it's Amazon. It's in there. I've literally only got this the other day, but as an experienced seller myself and out there, then it's just another avenue perhaps to utilize to try and get a problem sorted. And again, I'm going to move down and look at that. I've got a link to go through to find it, and hopefully they'll be able to get to the bottom of my this problem, because I suspect it's a competitor that's made an allegation against my listing to get me removed, and it's worked because I've been asking Amazon for proof. It's not, but they don't listen, and for some reason I'm going from pillar to post. It's been hard work, but you've just got to keep at that. And I want to get to the bottom because I'm going to relist it and do it again, but I want to find out why this has happened and what is the answer. How can you actually respond? What can you do to actually respond to an allegation from potentially from a malicious competitor that is not true? Because when you make an allegation on your brand registry, you can make this, there's a copyright infringement. You can say, oh, such and such has done it, but that's it. Then it gets shut down. It's where we go from there. So that is an ongoing one, which is difficult. Okay, now.
Yeah, so there can be different cases when Amazon blocks your listings. What you would suggest in general for Amazon sellers about these blocks and suspension of listings?
You've got to obviously contact them straight away to find out and ask simple questions, what the problem is, what it is. Because if it's maybe an email, read your emails thoroughly, because sometimes I've had a problem where and they've said it's a bullet point, listing violation, bullet point. So then you've got to look at the bullet point and look at the terms of service. What have I said in the bullet point that is wrong? What have I done? And that's where we come across this violation of new, because we looked at it and thought, surely it's not new. Well, it must be, because that's the only thing that is in there and what the machine is. So you've then got to go put a plan of action together. There is a course that they tell you to go through where you put your plan of action together, which you say, this is the problem, this is how I've fixed it, and this is what I'm going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again in the future. And then you put that through to Amazon, and then they should then put it up. It doesn't always happen that way, but they should. Yeah. But yeah, address them. You've just got to keep on them until it happens. Sometimes it can happen straight away. Other times it takes Amazon don't. The issue is Amazon don't tell you at first what the problem. They just say you suppressed the problem. What's the problem? You've then got to go and ask them, what's the problem? Okay, you suppressed my listing. Please explain why. What do I need to do? Ask them, because they don't tell you. That's what's quite frustrating about them on that.
What more takeaways do we have?
Probably in order to sort of move in terms of general through life and to be successful.
Yeah.
I'd say just again back to 3: health, fitness, self. When I say self, I think spirit, body, mind. So health. You could stay healthy. Look at your diet. Look at what you eat. You know, you've got to be sharp. You've got to keep this thing ticking for as long as you can. And you want to live life. You want to live. If you're going to work and earn a lot of money and do well, you want to be able to enjoy it. So you need to live to enjoy it, and live long, but live healthily long. So health is a big thing. There's a lot of
a small life hack. How to be healthy. The small life hack. How do you do it?
Eat a plant-based diet. It's all out there. Plant-based diet will help you avoid cancer, help you healthily, it'll protect your body. A plant-based diet makes your body strong. It makes your cells strong. There's lots of books out there about it. I've only recently got into that, but I found it's made a big difference in my life. Okay. If you're going to drink, don't drink. But if you drink to excess.
Okay.
But don't drink. I don't drink. But when I do drink, but very rarely. But when I do drink, I drink to excess. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. Till the end.
Keep yourself fit.
Okay. So now in a few months there will be not in a few months, in a month starts already the Black Fridays, the Christmas time, and like the biggest selling period. What would you share with everybody about this time? How to earn maximum from this time?
Oh, stock. You've got to get your inventory in there. It should be in there now. That's why I'm so busy. Where before I came on, I said I'm so manic because we've got containers being held up because of backlogs, and we're trying to get so much inventory into Amazon because it's it has to happen now. You don't get a second bite at the cherry. I'm more interested in Q4, to be honest. I don't. Sorry. That. I don't really do very much on the lightning deals on the Black Fridays, but imagine if you do, it's all about having the stock there. My products are, we don't do big discounts on what we do, so we don't really get involved. You don't need to. But what will happen is what happens to everybody is that you still get the wave of Black Friday. You don't have to get involved and do your big discounts and all the rest of it. You're still going to get your wave. Don't be what we do. But we're more interested in making sure we get a good Q4.
So to have good Q4, you have to, you say 3 times stock, and stock. What time the stock must be there already?
Now, September. Now, we get it
in September till the end of this.
You've got to start getting it in. Plan to get it in because of delays and what's happened to us now. We're delayed. We're getting stock in there, but we've got delays, and we're going to end up probably getting it what we want in there by the end of September, which is October. It's got to be in by October.
Will you add the stock in November?
Yeah.
You will add more stock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You've got to get your baseline of stock in, and then you can do your top up as you go through. Okay. Now we don't do it. We're not doing our Christmas lines simply because we've been too busy with our main line. So yeah, our line sells well at Christmas as well. Our niche, so it does go up. So we will then filter over into January and February, moving forward. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, Owen. We wish you a great Q4 with more than 30% of margin for you. And
if I could get 30% margin, I would be absolutely over the moon. Pure profit is 10% is absolutely fine. Pure profit, that can be taken away and put in my bank. That's what you're after. You know, these people that make, you know, they're all, you know, I don't get that margin, but 10% is enough.
We wish you a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more, so that you will be happy. Thank you very much that you are with us today. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And we hope that company WAPI will help you with European fulfillment.
Yeah, we will be talking. We'll be definitely having that conversation.
I have just came back from Germany. We have researched everything there. We have made our business process better, and we're ready to do the job there. We're ready to clear the customs and bring the containers and fulfill Amazon and fulfill the customers. If you sell not through Amazon, but if you sell through your web shop, through other marketplaces, we're ready to send from our warehouses goods instantly to the final customers. So we will be glad to see you working with us in logistics.
Yeah, I'll definitely need. I'm sure a lot of other UK sellers that sell into Europe are going to be in the exactly same boat as me, where we need a reliable company that can take care, that we can just, you know, pass that headache over to you. You know,
that's great. It probably will be our topic for the next webinar: how we managed the Brexit together.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of yeah, absolutely. I've got a number of meetings coming up to do with that with the Department of Industry and Trade. But until Boris and Juncker decide what they're going to do, we're all flying in the wind at the moment, and we've got to prepare for a no-deal Brexit.
Right.
So, but no, it's been great talking. I hope people have been able to take a little bit away from that. And as I said, it's a great business. Don't be afraid. Take risks, but take measured risks as you move forward. Okay, and I just wish everybody every success out there. It's easy. It can be done, and it can be done in good time. Have a good product.
Have a good product. Have a good product. This is the thing from what you started, and that's the thing with which we can end the webinar. Absolutely. Create a good product, and everything will be wonderful.
Yeah, well, it gives you the foundation to move forward and do what you want to do. So, yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Owen.
Okay.
And have a nice day.
Bye now.
Bye now. Ciao.
Ciao.